There we go. It is February, what? February 5th, 2020. And as I was telling you all before I started recording, it's an opportunity to open up this. Somebody did email me today saying, okay, are these videos mandated or something like that? And I had failed to use the word optional. And anymore, as we have classes that are essentially online, I think technically this may be called blended. Hello, Nina. We don't mandate. We just make them what they call asynchronous, and so people can join. And we're recording, and like I told in the emails, I'll put the recording back into our course site. Let's see. Let me do something here. I'm gonna hit what is called a share screen. If I can get to where I want to go. Share. Hello, Elizabeth. I see you trying to join us. There we go, and there we go. Okay. Can you see the course site? Can you see my course site? So I just nod. Okay. So I'd like to open it with a question to see as far as how this course is flowing and what I'm asking you to do. How I have it organized by modules. This and just see, is it making sense? Does the flow of it essentially, with me asking you to practice something essentially about every week, and then we get down here to a video of you teaching, where the instructions here. Basically, I hope that you will record yourself and put that video back up into the threaded discussion site. So let me ask you, and I'll be quiet for a moment to see if you have thoughts or questions that I need to address. And see, part of this is that with it being recorded, it's a chance for us to talk to everybody in the class. So is anybody anticipating or expecting issues with being able to record in the classroom? As I've said before, this is something that's relatively new to what I try to do, and so I'm just curious as to what you're thinking on this. Somebody want to dive in on that?
The only thing I'm very concerned about is when I get to, like, our introduction video was 5 minutes or something like that. Okay. I can't remember, but when I get too large of a video, I can't upload it, and so I have to like redo it and then get through it as quick as I can. Okay. And so 5 minutes, I have the timeline activity with my 10th graders, okay, and I recorded it, but there's no way I can upload it because the file is too big, and I've been trying to figure out how to do that.
What I have been doing when I make a recording, I dump it up into YouTube, and then I just put the link in, and I'm not actually uploading the video. Have you thought about that?
I haven't even thought about that. That's simple.
And that's what I will do with this video here. And so far, because I had thought that YouTube, tended to limit out around 10 minutes or so, and so far I'm not running into that. So the link for this, or the recording of this evening here, will be a YouTube link, and if I understand it right, it's not searchable because it's just a direct link. That's my understanding of it. So you might give that a try. Okay. Other people have thoughts. Greta, you had your hand up?
Yes, I'm still worried about the next video that I'm have to upload, because I'm not in a regular class, so I really, really need the next assignment to be ready.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you and I need to do some work on that. We need to work our way through that. We'll find a way. My directions work for probably 95% of the people in the class. And if someone doesn't have access to their own students, or something's going on, then we just have to work our way through it. Let's email back and forth about that, and we'll come up with an answer, okay? Okay. I'm not too worried about that, though. Okay?
Because I can't give you one now, but because last meeting that we had, I told you that I can make videos because I'm long term.
Yes.
But it's just until at the end of February. I'm not gonna be there anymore after that day.
Okay.
So, and you told me that you were going to be post the next assignment just to give me time, just if I, make another video before be out of the school.
Yep. Well, I forget who I was talking to about this, that the videos that we look at don't really have timestamps in them.
Oh.
So there's nothing to keep somebody from making all their videos all in 1 week or all in 1 day. And bluntly, I would never know. And you could put on a different jacket if you wanted to, so it looked like it was different days. But I'm not that worried about it. So if you need to make all your videos.
But what is the content that I have to?
Yes. So I hear you saying that I need to open up the modules a little further down, so you know what to work with, and I will do that. I'll make it so that you have a fighting chance of doing that. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay. And part of the thinking was that I didn't want to have all the modules open, because this, again, I've never taught the class quite this way, so I wasn't wanting to have it all open until I really had to. Okay, but I will open up more of these sites, Greta, so you know what we are working with. Okay. Other thoughts or concerns or questions? This first video due on the 23rd, and this whole concept that we're working with right now, and this chapter 7 that we just finished, in implementing rules and procedures. There's a reason why I started off with those 2 chapters, because some of the most important things that a principal will want you to do is to, and maybe I should have relationships above engagement strategies. A little bit of a chicken and egg concept there about when you set your classroom up, working with engagement, rules, procedures, and relationships all go hand in hand. And I don't know what you do first, because you tend to do them all at the same time. The engagement strategies, the researcher that I follow a lot, and this is all Marzano, I know. I think I've talked about Spencer Kagan and Kagan strategies. Spencer, have you heard of Kagan strategies? Kagan?
No, not that I know of.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll talk about it just a bit here. Well, actually, I've got a Spencer Kagan is a writer that talks a lot about student engagement strategies at a teacher level, and things that teachers can do, have in your back pocket to try to encourage students to be actively engaged in the classroom. So there are, I'll come down here, things like Rally Robin, Timed Pair Share, Round Robin, Rally Coach. So Spencer Kagan is the type of, so if you just Google Kagan engagement strategies, you get all these kinds of things that you can modify to use in your room to get students on their feet. For example, the face-to-face class I'm teaching tomorrow afternoon, the students are all college juniors, and they're all K-12 or secondary bound students. And the strategy I'm going to use is a inside-outside circle, because I want to show them how to find excuses to get students on their feet, which is the standard. If I was going back into a classroom as your principal, want to talk about student engagement, one thing I'd be wanting to see you do is find an excuse to get your students on their feet sometime during the class period. And so inside outside circle, I'm going to give the students some questions, have them do some research. I'm going to have them count off or some way. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it. Then they're going to form they're going to stand up and form two circles. One circle facing in, one circle facing out. Then I'm going to have them converse with the person straight across from them for back and forth for about 2 minutes. Then the people on the outside will take a step to the right and talk to another person. And then talk about what they learned about, but also share what they learned from someone that preceded them. So I'm looking for excuses. Well, I am teaching my students these strategies that they can use when they student teach next semester. And the idea is if you can get students on their feet, they tend to think better, the blood flows better. It's a kinesthetic concept. And I have found the students tend to reflect better when they're on their feet. And plus, I'm setting up examples and opportunities for students to be talking to students about the information. And that's always, not always, that's almost always a version of higher ordered learning, when you can set up situations for students to be talking to students. So if I was your principal coming in your classroom doing a classroom observation, I would be watching what the students are doing, not what you're saying and not what you're doing. So I would be watching. I'd want to see your kids talking to each other. I'd be looking at their eyes. I'd be listening to them, hopefully seeing them move around. It's a test of your classroom management routines and procedures. And then when you're not looking, I'll sidle over to one of your kids and say, well, tell me what you're doing today. Or I'd say, do you have a clue what you're doing today? What? So I'm trying to get out of them, do they know what the objective is for the day? Okay. One of the best strategies that you can do is making sure that your kids know the objectives for that period. And they know where they are on attainment of that objective. If you've heard of John Hattie and John Hattie's research, and that's one of his concepts that has one of the biggest bang for the buck, my phrase, that if your students can tell you what it is the objective is and where they are on that. They say, well, I need to do this, I need to do that, whether it's a reading skill or whatever the skill is. Or if it's a coaching concept, well, my left-hand layup is not very strong. I need to do this, this, and this to get better with it. Okay? So maybe I'm introducing a couple new names here this evening, because the theme we've been dealing with is student engagement. Okay? And Spencer Kagan. There is a standard that I use when I go into a classroom to gauge student engagement, where I am actively counting the students at any point in time that are actively engaged in the information. 15 to 20, and I'll write that down. And 10 minutes later, I'll write down, well, there's 13 out of 20, or there's 18 out of 20. It's a piece of data that a principal can use. That's one of my look-fors when I'm in a classroom. Okay? I don't really intend to do a lot of lecturing tonight. I just want to share some things as they, on this concept of student engagement, engagement strategies. So the mental image of what you'll be doing And I'm going to pause and ask for questions here. It'll be a lot more interesting if somebody has a question. We have all these strategies. We're going into implementing rules and procedures. Okay. Now here's another name. Nod your head up and down if you're familiar with the researcher Harry Wong, W-O-N-G. Okay. Spencer's head's going like this. Okay. Okay. So Spencer, I'll talk to you for about 10 more seconds. I'm not calling you out or anything. Harry Wong is a writer, and his book is called The First Days of School. Okay. The First Days of School. The next time you go to Barnes & Noble, look for his book, The First Days of School. There's about 20 million of these in print, literally. It is the most read book on classroom management that any teacher will talk to you about. Okay? And it's all at a teacher level. Try this, do this, do that. Nuts and bolts. Okay? I tend to be a big fan of Harry Wong because, in my words, he's a little bit old school. He talks about relationships, yes. He does not talk about classroom discipline. He talks about routines and procedures. And that routines and procedures head off a lot of stuff. So my class tomorrow with my undergrads, I always introduce two Harry Wong strategies. And I use them as part of a routine every week. The students come in, they're sitting down, and I say, okay, let's go. And I make them leave the room and go out into the hallway. Then I'll make them come back, and I greet them at the door, just like a teacher is supposed to greet them at the door. And we do a fist bump, I ask a question, and that's the way I'm greeting them all at the door. That's something that Harry Wong talks about doing, greeting students at the door. And they come in, then I have bell work on the board to get their minds working and get them seated and in the learning frame. Okay. At the same time, I'm showing them the exit ticket, which is a physical piece of paper with a question on it that they will hand to me as they're leaving the class at the end of the period. Those three Harry Wong strategies that I use every time we meet. And the kids know it's just part of a routine now. So the idea, we just keep talking about things that you can put in your back pocket to try later. That's what teaching is. Okay? I've been yakking enough for a little bit. Questions, thoughts?
I have one.
Go ahead.
Okay, so with the videos, then do you want us to kind of go over any one of these like discussion posts that we're making then? Like we could say like in this one I went over element 34, or I mean probably not the physical layout, but like stuff.
Zero in. So Elizabeth, your question is on your video, should you zero in on one element?
Mm-hmm.
And my answer is yes. I do know that essentially these things blend over to each other because the physical layout of your classroom has an impact on rules and procedures and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm looking for is a video of you zeroing in on an element and showing us you teaching with a focus on that element.
Okay. And it could be like chapter 7 or chapter 8 or whatever one like that.
Yes. And yeah, I'll go back so I can articulate that as we're, okay. And so yes, the module 2 video of you teaching due on February 23, your focus could be chapters 7, 8, 9, or 10. Okay. And again, it's just the prompt that we're using to help us focus in better on what we're looking for. And the video, don't forget that in the put some text with your video in the thread of discussion so we know what we're looking at. background of the class. Okay, this is a 10th grade Spanish class. I do know there are 3 Spanish teachers in the Zoom video right now. Did y'all realize that? Okay. Nina, Gritter, and Elizabeth are all teaching Spanish. So if y'all haven't emailed back and forth, it'd be a good thing to do. Is there anything particular we should know about this setting? What'd you learn from the lesson? What would you do differently next time? Then watch the videos of classmates and provide feedback to at least 2 of them. Okay? Again, I've never tried it this way before. So we'll see if it works. If the wheels come off, I'll try something different. I don't think they will, but okay. And again, follow your district building policies on video. Make sure you're communicating with your supervisor / principal, assistant principal, whoever you communicate with, so they know what's going on. Your policies will probably require, well, this can be done in different ways. Your principal may want you to get a permission slip from all the students in the classroom. Or they may say that they've all had a chance to opt out already. Kind of depends on how it's done. And any student that could not, should not, will not be on the video, just have them sit off to the side for that 10 minutes. Don't make a big deal of it. They're still part of the class, and just and you can however you want to run your class. You can tell them you're videoing or not. Okay. The use of video is a great professional development strategy. Okay. You know your kids. You know that they may be better or worse than usual if they know you're creating a video for your class. So if I was you, I'd pick your best class. Pick the kids that you get along the best with. I mean, that's what a grad student does. You control those variables. Okay? And so you pick a class that is clicking along the best. Hey guys, I need some help here. I'm doing this for my professor, and this is what the focus is. Okay? Greta, I know you and I have some more work to do, but go ahead and unmute. You have a question?
Okay, yes. I will be recording kindergarten, so you can expect a lot of kind of situation from them and unexpected situation.
Good.
And usually the strategy that I'm going to use is academic games.
Okay.
Because it's new to me, and with that strategy I can get them, focused, because they love games. So it's going to be fun.
I say bless you and anybody that can handle kindergartners. I would rather have a cafeteria full of high school kids for lunch duty for 30 minutes than 18 kindergarten kids for 5 minutes.
No.
Okay, and I kid you not. It's a different animal.
Oh my God, I think that kindergarten is beautiful. They're awesome. They lovely, but at the same time they are so stressful sometimes because they're so little, and they are sensitive, and they cry because of everything.
And you can't turn your back on them. You can't. With high school kids, you could say, okay, now I want you to turn to your shoulder partner and talk for 3 minutes or something like that. No, doesn't work with kindergarten kids.
No.
Every second.
Please help me, because I'm gonna record this for my professor. And why are you teaching? Are you a teacher? No. Why are you doing this? What? Everything is a why and why and why. I'm gonna spend all the video explaining them what's happening.
Well, I'll be looking forward to seeing that video. Okay. I'm gonna start winding down, I guess. Basically, I will start to articulate a little bit more as we go through the course that these videos are essentially office hours. Okay? So questions and things that I can help with. And Elizabeth, like the question that you asked, if you have that question, other people have that question. So it's a chance for me to answer that question for everybody. Okay. Other questions or things I need to address? That's called wait time.
7 seconds, right?
7 seconds. It's
At least that's what Voss was saying. 7 to 9 seconds. You have to wait.
that, and really, with my undergrad, when I teach wait time, I do my hands like I'm a basketball official. I go like this. So they see that I'm counting to, and it's also good for me too, to practice my own wait time. Okay, I go like this, or you get back, your hand can be down to your side, but it's good because we tend to answer our own questions, and we don't like silence. Teachers are talkers, right? Okay. Well, tell you how I handle this. I'm going to stop share, and I'm going to stop recording. I'm always the last person to get off the video. So if anybody has a question, you just hang in there, and so I'm going to stop share. Okay. I'm going to stop recording.